Traveling with kids is definitely no easy feat, especially if you're not fully prepared. The thought of having to endure a whole plane ride or road trip with your kids and not losing your mind can be particularly frightening. But if you play your cards right, it won't be as tough as it sounds. You can have a peaceful, disaster-free vacation and your kids can enjoy the wonders of traveling. In today's video, we will be sharing with you the top tips you need to know when traveling with kids to keep you prepared for any and every situation and make your bonding time with them more valuable and memorable. We've also made a separate video on things to think about before making travel plans with kids. So if you're looking for more tips on traveling with kids, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. We'll be starting off this video by answering the most important question: what is the best age to travel with children? Obviously, when it comes to more mature kids like teens and preteens, it is definitely less demanding. The little ones, however, pose more of a challenge. According to experts, the best age to travel with an infant would be between the 3rd and the 9th month, when the baby still sleeps a lot, is mostly immobile, has a stronger immune system than a newborn, and requires less attention than a toddler. At this age, they are basically low maintenance, except for the occasional crying, which can be remedied with a pacifier. After the first 9 months, it's best to avoid traveling again until they're 2 to 3 years old or older. This is because we're trying to skip the toddler phase, where they tend to be extremely squeamish and difficult to control. From 3.5 years and above, they become easy to reason with, bribe with snacks, or keep distracted with their favorite games and shows. Once they reach adolescence at age 10, it becomes smooth sailing. With that being said, here are our picks for the top tips you need to know when traveling with kids. Make sure to stick around to the end for our most important tip. You know what they say, slow and steady wins the race. This cannot be more true when traveling with kids. Trust me when I say this, the last thing you want to do is rush, especially when you have your kids with you. So many things can go wrong, so be prepared to keep your schedules loose. Take deep breaths to calm your nerves and forge on, slowly. Aside from your lodging and flights, you can book private and public transportation, private guides, sightseeing tours, tickets to museums and theme parks, and many other attractions ahead of time. In doing so, you'll have more time to relax and enjoy your destination when you arrive. Asking for child discounts can save you a lot of money every time you travel. It may be hard to work up the courage to do so, but you'll never know unless you try. Most of the time, a lot of businesses are actually willing to give children discounts. So just ask, because these special rates aren't usually posted. The less you bring, the easier it is to pack. And the less you have to carry, the more room you have for souvenirs. Families tend to want to pack everything just in case of emergencies, which may seem like a good idea, but actually, it isn't. Having less weight to move around with while traveling not only relieves stress, but also makes it easier to keep your kids in check. A better alternative would be to purchase travel-sized items. This way, you'll always be prepared and won't be dragging unnecessary loads around with you. Check out our video on packing tips for traveling with kids, linked in the description box below. To plan properly, it's important to know everything you possibly can before your actual travel day. From airline restrictions and accommodations to the smallest detail about the place you're going to, the weather, cost of living, safety measures, possible risks, nearest hospital to your lodgings, everything. The last thing you want to do is be unprepared when someone falls ill. You don't want your kid to remain ill until the plane lands, whether it's a mild headache, a little cold, or an upset tummy. Having a sick or injured kid can immediately ruin the trip. Always ensure you have first aid and medication with you at all times. Another tip would be to avoid getting vaccinated too close to the flight, as side effects can make things difficult. You might also want to consider getting travel insurance in case things go horribly south. Also, keep in mind airline rules and restrictions in relation to medicine and liquids you can take with you on the plane. Plan appropriately so that your medicines don't get confiscated by airport security. Keep track of your child. Nothing is worse than the fear you get when you realize your child is missing. It's easy to get caught up in practical issues, but you should always keep an eye on them. You never know when one of them will stray off to look at something cool and then be unsure how to come back to you. Even the most attentive parent can lose sight of their child. Consider attaching a tiny GPS tracker to their shoe or belt. The tracker will notify you when your child wanders too far away and will allow you to see where they go. Snacks, snacks, snacks. Having enough small and easily transportable snacks with you at all times is the secret to a successful family trip. Whether you need to keep your kids occupied on the plane, distract them during a car ride, or keep their bellies full at all times to avoid grumpy and hangry kids, it's best to always have snacks available for your kids and grown-ups. Having a hangry adult is one thing, but having a hangry kid? Now that spells disaster. So if you think you have enough snacks, trust me, you don't. Long trips require a lot of distractions for kids, so it is critical to keep them entertained. It can make the difference between a great trip and a miserable one. Make sure you have a good mix of digital and non-digital options. You can let them use personal electronics during downtimes like on flights, car rides, in long lines, or while waiting for performances. Small toys and books are great to take on a trip with your kids. Brand new toys they haven't seen before or books they haven't read will get even more of their attention. Bringing their favorite toys and comfort items along for the ride might also help them get on the plane. And for older kids, consider getting them a camera and a travel journal. Our final and most important tip for this video is to remember that things will definitely go wrong. No matter how much you plan and hope things go your way, something will undoubtedly happen. And that's okay. There really isn't much you can do to avoid these situations. The sooner you accept this, the less stressed you will be when it occurs. All that matters is that you keep your head above water and bounce back without letting it ruin your trip. Traveling is a thrilling adventure, even if there are a few bumps along the way. The experience you are giving your youngsters is priceless. Just remember that you'll be fine, and you're supposed to be enjoying yourself too. Well, that's it for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video as much as we did, hit the like button, share and subscribe for new videos every week.